and welcome to another episode of the Perth to Paisley Podcast, a podcast dedicated to the only Edinburgh club to have played in the group stage of a UEFA European competition, heart of Midlothian. The Jambos are still undefeated after 4 matches of the 2025-2026 Scottish Premiership season. And joining me to discuss HMFC leaving it late in Livingston is Daniel McIver. McIver, yet another late goal to deliver another 3 precious points. Excited to get chatting about our latest game?
Excited's maybe a strong word, I would say. Intrigued, because I think I got 3 messages about an hour after the game. One was from you, one was from a friend of the podcast, Sinead, and one was my dad, all saying, is it weird we still kind of feel a wee bit annoyed after that, even though we've won in the 90th minute? And I don't think it was weird. I think it does seem to be the kind of feeling of the fan base because, yeah, we're unbeaten in the league. 10 points from a possible 12. Joint top of the league. It took us till like the 1st of December to get to this points total last season. And yet...
That's wild.
Yeah, it's insane. There is genuine... criticism points that we will probably hit on, which is the most Heart of Midlothian thing ever. But I'm excited to. I was also wondering where that intro was going, because I was like, I thought you were going to say the only unbeaten domestic team in Edinburgh, and I was like, Hibs also haven't lost a game in the league, but no, you just had to get that wee bit in there.
Got to get the jive in while you can.
Listen,
exactly.
they
That
took
was great.
it was close to no being good.
God, it was horrible.
Fucking leg of Warsaw, man.
That was not a successful hate watch until it
was not
It really wasn't. But yes, we have had several other goings on within our fantastic league thus far. We're going to chat about the other 5 matches, which were eventful, not necessarily for the right reasons, as we go around.
And one of them was the least eventful game in perhaps the fixtures history.
Oh, without a doubt. There was one other Saturday match taking place, and that was at Fir Park as Motherwell and Kilmarnock played out a 4-goal thriller. Kilmarnock took the lead in Lanarkshire before the Well got themselves in front, but Kelly found a late leveller to deny the Steelmen all 3 points. Are Motherwell the best team ever to have never won a game?
Well, my dad made that point where he was like, at what point though do Motherwell fans start going, yeah, this is amazing, but we're not winning it, they draw 38 games in the season and get relegated.
An invincible season for Motherwell, but it's to absolutely no avail. And on the Sunday, 4 matches taking place. The first Old Firm of the 2025-6 campaign was possibly the worst game of football I have ever watched. It ended goalless with next to no talking points, just a really drab, dull game of football that made me question why I'm even a football fan sitting through it. That wasn't the case in Dundee, though, in Scottish football's greatest fixture, as United made the short trip to over Tannadice Street, I should say, to defeat Dundee at Dens and claim the bragging rights on Derby Day 2-0. St Mirren had to settle for a point at Easter Road, pegged back by the UEFA Europa Conference League winners, as it finished 1 each in Leith. And perhaps the best of all, it had been 5,622 days since Falkirk had last won in the top flight of Scottish football. The Bairns had been in the depths of League One in a 15-year period that has eventually come to an end with a sole goal success at Pittodrie. Aberdeen remaining the only team yet to score a league goal or pick up a Premiership point in the 2025-26 season so far. I don't want to get too carried away, McIver, but if Carlsberg did Scottish Premiership weekends, I think they'd look something like that. What do you make of the Sunday matches?
A very weird week, because out of the entirety of the footballing world, there's been a lot of think pieces about Scottish football because of the European exploits and obviously the irony that
or lack of.
Yeah, the irony of kind of the team that performed the best, although they lost, Hibs, are the one team that aren't playing European football going forward into Christmas out of the 4 of them. So
Well, and Dundee United as well, even if you go back
Oh my God, I
the earlier
forgot they were
round.
even in
You,
it.
I know, you do. It feels like a lifetime ago now. Like, it's
Yeah.
bizarre.
So there was probably more eyes on the games and more interest on the games than there perhaps normally would be from external sources. And to just cover the Old Firm, it's been very well documented on this podcast that I've watched literally a handful of Old Firms in my life.
Please don't tell me you sat through that
Well,
one.
I was like, this is appointment viewing because they're both shit. And in a way, it was wonderful because they are
Yeah.
both terrible. I know that we're going to get beat at Ibrox next weekend, right?
It's a
I
certainty.
know.
I've said in other places, it's nailed
Yeah.
on.
But
Absolutely
that
nailed
doesn't
on.
change the fact that they are both. I can't remember a time in the top flight with no mitigating circumstances that both sides of the Old Firm have been this flat. Because
Wow.
obviously Rangers died, and that's a very big mitigating circumstance with them. But then you could argue that affected Celtic. Celtic obviously had unprecedented levels of dominance, but they had no real competitor because Aberdeen were not a competitor during it.
Even then, until that COVID season. So again,
Yeah,
another mitigating circumstance whereby
exactly.
Celtic well and truly just shat the bed.
Yeah,
And obviously, yeah, like Rangers just took full advantage. We weren't in the league, so we had the stronghold over them at that time, and obviously they were able to go unbeaten and win the Scottish Premiership. So
yeah,
yeah, I think even their deadline day business kind of reflects that. Celtic were obviously in desperate need of a striker, didn't get one till Kelechi Iheanacho had his Sevilla contract ripped up. Rangers have spent the largest chunk of money since Torre Andre Flo and God knows when on a striker that I think I've scored more career goals than.
yeah.
So yeah, it's really really bizarre. Um,
Very, very strange. And
but it's so depressing, isn't it? Like just knowing that they'll probably be comfortably ahead of everybody
oh
else.
yeah, of course, yeah, it's the
That
realities.
being said, I mean, I sort of alluded to it. Tony Bloom, he made these comments, and if we get a result after
No,
the international
calm
break,
the
it's on.
fuck
It's
down,
on.
everybody. I've seen that
But
we're 10-1 to win the
more,
league.
which is the shortest I think ever. That could be the worst value bet of all time.
Yeah, I think so. Honest to God, like atrocious. But that was funny. The Motherwell situation is very strange. Like they're clearly good. I mean, how much of it is because they've got a terrible goalkeeper? Because he seems
I
to
mean,
just be chucking them in.
they've chucked 4 points in the last 2 weeks, basically
Yeah,
down to the goalkeeper. I would argue. So yeah,
but
really
they
odd.
still do look good generally. So it's
Up
weird.
to a point,
Like,
don't they?
yeah.
It's yeah.
Um, Hibs, obviously, the main talking point is the penalty in the last seconds that
Funny.
they should get. I've seen so many people turn, even Hearts fans, be like, "See, this is proof that VR isn't good." I'm like, sorry, a system that absolutely fucks Hibernian Football Club over. I'm all for it. What
I
are you
know,
talking
I might
about?
have to change my stance now.
Yeah, exactly. But Hibs seem to have a really weird situation at Easter Road this season, which I feel like they're often just quite a good home team. I feel like both sides of Edinburgh are quite good home teams generally and cannot travel. But Hibs are travelling really well, but falling apart at home. Which,
I wasn't too surprised, obviously, the travel from
yeah, of
Poland,
course, they've got
like the
the
fact that they've been paying for
caveat of
extra
that.
time, and yeah, that was. I mean, I called both Edinburgh clubs' results for who scored this week, and
Wow.
that was literally it. Hearts was literally because last week I said 1-0 on the podcast, and I thought, no, it's us. We're bound to concede, but I'd still probably fancy us to win. I should have also checked as well. There's a bet that bugged me: Livingston to score first because I did them on like one of those Sky Bet freezes. I was confident that we'd
Ah,
win.
right, okay.
But given our track record of falling behind, I thought, yeah, we'll freeze Livingston. Just a shame that the rest of the coupon was absolutely dog meat.
Ah, fair. Fair. And then the best. Listen, this also, it's a week of caveats. Aberdeen's close of day, deadline day business is
Unbelievable.
ridiculous. Carlson on loan, I don't understand how they've done that.
Neither do I.
I don't think he's going to be as good as people. I think people are kind of ignoring the 3.5 years he's had since that Eredivisie season.
Yeah, there has to be a reason as to why he's ended up at Aberdeen. It's just
Yeah.
people are unsure as to how that is or why that is because of the pedigree that he arrives with.
Yes, definitely. I don't think
Yeah.
Stuart Armstrong's a good signing. I think that's a bad
No.
signing. But
It's quite funny seeing Dundee United fans get upset about that.
Yeah,
though. So
true.
It's like, there's peaks and troughs to
yeah,
it all.
exactly. And as the terrace said, Mr. Handsome's back in the week.
Yeah,
So,
it's annoying. I can't. I'm sorry, but I just cannot. And I know this is obviously poignant with the international break being the case. I cannot look at him and just not think of that.
oh
Scotland
yeah,
England game at
totally.
Hampden. Between
He's-
that and the clip of kind of the Wheatfield stand when we beat Celtic 4-0,
Yeah.
and he goes over to the near side touchline
That's
to go get the
him,
ball,
yeah.
and then the boy just chucks it up behind and into about 3 or 4 rows.
It's amazing.
Just give him verbals and just every single gesture of the day. Incredible.
I forgot that's him in that clip. That's a good point. But yeah,
They're the two outstanding memories I have of Stuart Armstrong. Never mind what he's done on the park or like any
how
other part of
stunning
his
he
career.
looks off it, basically.
And his song, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
The two clips of his song.
But they need to be excellent signings because, oh my God,
Yeah, they
5
are
wins
dog
in
shit.
like 30 plus league games. I understand.
And that should be a given for Aberdeen. Newly promoted Falkirk at home, the way they play, like
That's what I was going to say. I
play it with their
understand.
hands.
I understand that they were down to 10 men, but I don't care. Like, I just don't really care. Like, as you say, it's still Falkirk at your home ground.
Yeah.
Like, you should be fine. But I'm buzzing for John McGlynn.
Oh, what a man.
I'm buzzing. There was so many Falkirk fans there as well, so that's class to see.
Love
and I
to
just
see
hope
that.
this happens to Aberdeen. They're not going to get relegated before anybody says anything.
It would be really funny.
It would be really funny to just think that Tilleen sat there just now going, fuck's sake, I've also got to contend with Europe during...
Oh.
In a weird way, he'll be gutted there in Europe.
Yeah, I get that. I think just their Scottish Cup win is just the epitome of papering over the cracks, really.
Yeah.
And I also
Which I
think
understand. Some people would go, well, yeah, but who gives a shit? Like, if we were in that situation, I would go, I'll take fucking getting relegated the next season, mate, to beat
Yeah.
Celtic in the cup final.
Yeah, but it's like...
But then you're there, and it's October, and you're getting
Yeah.
beat, and you're 10th, and it's shit.
And they've spent, like, he's been
They've spent
backed,
so
like,
much
well
money.
and truly been backed.
Yeah.
And for what? So
But no points and no goals.
crazy. Again, I think that's a fixture where you've hit the nail on the head there. Europe's yet to come. Like
Yeah.
these early games, you need to build a
Something.
decent kind of total or a decent rapport in to kind of carry you through that storm of
They have
Thursday, Sunday.
They have basically just got a new
And they've also
front
had
three,
the
though.
trickiest Conference League draw of anybody ever.
Yeah, they
By-
literally
by
statistically
the-
couldn't
yeah,
have got a harder draw.
That's great. I mean, things are going really well.
Yeah. If they played with like a front three, they've basically got a new front three because they've now got Armstrong, Carlson, and Nisbet. So the argument could be, well, it doesn't matter that we've not scored goals because we've now got an entirely new forward line. But I would say entirely reliant on that forward line isn't the brightest idea.
No, and even then, like the Nisbet signing is just a familiarity.
Yeah,
feeling
true.
around it, isn't it? It's like, okay, he's still out of favour. We're in need of a centre forward. I'll just turn back to what I had
Yeah,
previously.
that's fair.
So yeah, bizarre, but hopefully things don't improve too drastically or too quickly. We are here primarily to talk about Heart of Midlothian making the short trip along the M8 to take on Livingston at the home of the Set Fair Arena, as it's called these days. But before we do that, there was an exciting addition to talk about. And somebody that
Jesus,
could have been making his debut in said match. Heart of Midlothian is delighted to announce that Brazilian midfielder Ageu, am I saying that correctly?
I think it's Ageu or Agio because I saw some Craig Keane say it's like Baggio but with like a U at the end.
I mean, that is incredible on its own. If he brings back that ponytail, I tell you what, that'll do things. That will do things.
As long as he doesn't miss decisive penalties, we're fine.
Um, the Baggio wannabe will join the Jambos in what will be a club record transfer deal. 23-year-old Ageu, again, just going to say it for the practice, will make the move to Hearts from Portuguese top flight side Santa Clara, subject to visa approval, Scottish FA approval, and international clearance on a 4-year contract for an undisclosed amount. There's loads of people reporting
It's
€2 million.
It's 1.7 million pounds.
Equates to, thank you very much, roughly £1.7 million. An exciting, creative midfielder with a knack for unpicking defences with key passes. Ageu cut his teeth in his homeland with Brazilian giants Cruzeiro before moving to Santa Clara in 2023. He played his part in Santa Clara's title triumph in 23-24, winning the second tier and securing promotion to the top league. Last season, he went on loan to Liga Portugal 2 side Alverca, where he earned rave reviews. His 11 goal contributions from the middle of the park, so Alversa, don't know, finished second in the league, missing out on the title by a point, but gaining promotion to the top flight. A dynamic player who is fond of going box to box, Ageu will now swap the Azores for Gorgie as he becomes the latest addition to head coach Derek McInnes's new look Hearts squad. Bienvenido to the Gorgie Garincha.
Oh, no. He's been cursed officially now. Oh, my God. Right. What? Tony Bloom.
I thought this was going to be full of excitement and looking forward to this player.
It's more just bewilderment because, listen, as you pointed out, I am wearing a yellow South American national team's kit, but the other one,
disgusting,
a la Colombia. But Tony Bloom said just last month that, listen, you're going to be breaking. Forget about Genk and Beslegia. That record's going to be gone.
God, that was the jobby that would not flush.
Yeah,
that's that Beslegia being a record signing. So thank God that's finally away.
I did not think it would be within the month of him saying that we break our feet. And not only, it's not like we went, what, Beslegia was like 875. It's not like we've went to 900. It's like we've more than doubled it.
Yeah, it's mad.
I just never thought I'd ever see Hearts spend more than £1.5 million on a football player. Pair that with Derek McInnes's comments about him after the game. I do not think there has ever been pressure and expectation more on a Hearts player in the history of the club.
No.
In terms of just monetary value and a normally quite coy manager saying you will be the best player in the team.
I'm actually slightly disappointed that his English was as good in the kind of interview that unveiled
it was really apologised for it and it was great.
It was far better than my Portuguese.
Yes.
But obviously he's been speaking to Claudio Braga. If that was me, just ignore it, mate. Just ignorance is bliss. Just don't bother to learn the language. Just do your talking on the park, get your move, and thanks very much.
I did laugh a bit at how dismissive Brazilian football journalists and Portuguese football journalists were of us, because the response in there, like natively in Brazil and in Portugal where he was playing, the general way we were reported was, yeah, he'll go to this little club in Scotland that nobody knows, but within 2 years he'll then make his big £15 million move. And I'm like, all I heard for that was £15 million move. We can be the tiny little minnows all you want. I do not care.
I know there's kind of two worries, isn't there? It's not necessarily just the transfer fee, but the 30% sell on to Santa Clara. It's like, oh, we are well and truly all in. We think
he is going to be huge. Yeah, and listen, they can have 30% if it's 15 million. Jesus Christ, they can have fucking half it if they want. I don't care. But we will obviously get to it.
Would still get what, about 12 million or something like that? My maths is, oh my God.
It's ridiculous. We will obviously get to it when we discuss the game, but...
It's not going to Vlad's back pocket.
Yes, exactly. The moment where he picked up the ball, turned, ran and shot, I nearly passed out because I just couldn't believe a Hearts midfielder was doing that.
I know, I had to wipe away the tears from my eyes.
Yeah.
Not how poor the shot was, because it wasn't the best, but just the willingness to go and do that. It's like, oh my God, my prayers have finally been answered. It feels like a decade-long prayer was finally answered.
Well, my comparison, especially the run he makes for Braga's sitter, maybe you'll agree or disagree with this. I said I can't remember a player making a run like that from the middle of the park since Doom.
Jesus.
Doom used to do that. Then he
I
got
love
fucking
that for
chucked
Doom.
to the right and people hated him.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Yeah,
but
that's a good
since
shout,
then, I
actually.
can't think of a single central player who would make that run.
When did Arnold Doom leave? About fucking 10 years ago.
I think he left this 18-19 window. So
Oh my
7 years.
yeah, Jesus.
Yeah.
Crying
I'm
out loud.
very, very excited about the guy. I just hope he doesn't let the pressure get to him.
Yeah, just trying to put a lid on it, isn't it? Trying to kind of squash that. But yes, you are right. I mean, in terms of a cameo, which we'll come on
Yes.
to, very promising. The signs were there. However, he was to start from the bench as Derek McInnes made 4 changes in personnel, as well as a
Fucking
change
hell.
of shape. Oh dear, McIver's already angry, and I've not even read out what I
I've
was going
just
to
kind
say.
of remembered that there isn't just positivity here. We've got to speak about the first 45 minutes.
To the Hearts team that fought from 3 goals down to draw 3 each with Motherwell as the Jambos made the short trip to take on Livingston. Michael Steinvender dropped onto the bench as he was replaced by Frankie Kent, with Hearts shifting to a back 3/5. Benny Beningame and Blair Spittle entered the midfield as Pierre Landry Cabore and Alan Forrest were both omitted from the matchday squad. And Claudio Braga, after bagging a brace against Motherwell off the bench, took James Wilson's place in the starting 11 to partner Lawrence Shankland up front. That meant that Hearts lined up as follows in a 3-5-2. Xander Clark in goal. Back three of Stuart Finlay, Craig Halkett and Frankie Kent. Harry Milne at left wing back. Oisin McEntee at right wing back, although depending on who you ask and whichever app you use, it just seems like he was in the middle, but that didn't look the case.
He was not in the middle.
No, exactly. Blair Spittle, Cammy Devlin, and Benny Beningame as the midfield trio, and Lauren Shankland and Claudio Braga, like I mentioned, up top. McIver, you were shaking your head. What's the matter?
What the fuck is that, man? No, I don't want to see lineups like that. I spot my dad and my brother were there. They were one of the 6,500. And my dad
I'm
made
sorry
a
to hear
point.
that, but there were 2 of the 6,500. Sorry. Carry on.
I'm leaving. My dad made the point afterwards. I spoke to him on the phone where he was like, in 0506, there was a crop of Scottish guys who had done reasonably well the season before, right? Your guys like your Alan Forrests, your Blair Spittles, people like that who were like, fine. But then suddenly in a summer, Hearts leveled up unbelievably, and there was Rudy Scatchell, Julian Brellier, Edgar Jankowskis, Roman Bednar.
With only a couple survivors.
Yes. The problem that started to happen with the Hearts fan base at that time is that when those Scottish guys would play every so often, the general mood of the fan base was, I just want to see a foreign guy play, and like, you're not very exciting anymore. Sorry that you were solid, Lee Miller, but we're not that interested in you anymore. Mad. My dad made that comparison to like guys like Spittle, where it's like, sorry, Blair, I've moved beyond you now. You might still be solid. I don't necessarily agree with that, but you might be. There might be times where Blair Spittle has good games. I am now at the stage where it's like, but I don't care. I would rather have Kurjota have a runabout because he's more exciting. I'd rather Ageo play instead. Like, yeah. I don't care if he's not match fit. I don't care. I just now want to see the fun new Tony Bloom, Jamestown Star Lizard people. So when that came out, and we're still playing a very effective midfielder at right wing back, one of the hardest positions in football, a wing back, by the way. Stupid. Kizaridis still isn't starting. We're still playing this fucking 3 with personnel that doesn't fit it at all. I messaged you immediately and went, what the fuck's that? I thought it was a 3-4-1-2 with Spittle in behind, which it kind of was. But this is jumping massively forward, but as soon as that second half started, when we changed shape and changed personnel, it was like, oh yeah, this is who Hearts should be.
Yeah, I can't help but feel like we are kind of spoiled young kids that have kind of been we've kind of cleared Toys R Us really and
Yes.
picked everything that we'd like. And
It's
yet
not
we're still
rational. It doesn't make sense, but I don't care just now. I just want to see the exciting guys whose names I can't really pronounce.
yeah, and we're still going back to like the teddy bear that's lost its eye and
Exactly.
it's got fluff kind of poking out both feet. It's yeah, there's definitely flaws. Um, and again, bizarre that like I would get the continuity if we enjoyed a successful season last
Yeah.
season, but it was anything but. It was terrible. Like the worst season in I don't know, good 5 years or whatever.
Well,
Probably the same time as
statistically,
Arnold June left.
yeah, statistically, it was the worst start in our history and generally one of the worst seasons.
Horrendous. But yeah, I also think that was kind of reflected in our first half performance. I I'm sick of saying it, but I love nothing more than when Hearts get off to a fast start. My dream is
I
for the
thought we
game
were
to be
fine
wrapped
up
up
until the goal.
within kind of 15, 20 minutes. Just
Aye,
go
but
batter somebody
that's
for
a
15,
bit
20 minutes.
that's
I
a
know,
bit extreme.
of course it is, but that would ultimately be my dream to just chill for an hour and just not be bothered whatsoever about the repercussions. But we are like the polar opposite of that in so many ways. Just
I thought we were
so
fine up until the goal.
sluggish. And I mean, in fairness, the first chance does kind of fall to us, but
Hmm.
it's more so with kind of just individual brilliance rather than something that we've done as a team. Frankie Kent goes long to find Claudio Braga. The Portuguese controls with ease, slips it out to Oisin McEntee. The Irishman then pings it inside to Lawrence Shankland, who sends a lovely curved pass in behind the Livy backline. Braga then takes an excellent first touch to take him away from Adam Montgomery at left back, but he drags a right-footed effort past Prior's post. Like this, it's a nice build-up, and Braga does really well. Um, but it's not even as though we've kind of carved them open, really. It's a long ball over the top, a couple passes in midfield, and all of a sudden we're somehow in.
Again, especially the first half, it was like the only player who is actually playing well here is Braga. And as you say, Stuart Finlay is obviously an exception because he was a signing this season, but he's not a star lizard signing, is he? And Oisin McEntee, we've always signed guys for the lower leagues of England. That's also not a new Star Lizard thing. So from like a Star Lizard approach, the only new signing was Braga, who was on the pitch.
And he basically makes the opportunity on his own.
Yeah, and he was the best player. It's like go and put the new exciting
Just
guys
letting us
on the
with
pitch,
25
Derek.
of them.
But again, so this is the thing. Obviously, we end up fixing it. We're top of the league, unbeaten, 10 points. But I am now starting to have concerns about McInnes in as much as why are you still getting this wrong? Why are we still having terrible first halves? Yes, it is incredible that you know how to fix it, but that can't keep working. We can't just keep doing this. So just play, everybody's saying it, but play your best 11 and system from the start.
I mean, you mentioned a poor first half. That was our only chance, opportunity,
Yeah.
even if I can call it that. On 26 minutes, Mo Silva's forced back the way by Cammy Devlin. He finds Danny Wilson, one of a number of former Hearts players at
Yeah.
Livy these days. On halfway, our former captain rolls it into Scott Pittman. Daniel Finlayson at right back receives from Pittman, goes down the line to Lewis Smith. He skips past Harry Milne easily, drives towards goal, and before Stuart Finlay can even get out to him, smashes a left-footed pile driver past Xander Clark in a flash. Livingston 1, Heart of Midlothian 0, and for the third time in 4 league matches so far this season, Daniel McIver, Hearts have fallen behind yet again. It's so soft. Milne gets done way too easily. Blair Spittle's just jogging back, not really a care in the world. And obviously, like I mentioned, Stuart Finlay just doesn't close down quickly enough. It's as simple as that, really, isn't it?
There's four major issues where you've just spoken about two. The first, that McInnes after the game says they literally worked on tape of Smith during the week.
Yeah, that's a big worry.
That's really worrying.
But again, is that necessarily down to the manager? Because he's then identified that.
No, I'm not blaming that on McInnes. Yeah. I just mean that as a point. Like, it's really bad that we've literally went...
From an individual error standpoint.
Yeah, just like a collective point of like, we've literally identified that this guy's quite good. And then just going, oh, imagine if we'd actually paid attention to that. So yeah, that's bad. Milne is terrible here. He's so rash in trying to get out. I don't know what he's doing. Just take a breath. It's fine. Let him come to you. Finlay then should come out. As soon as he realises Milne's done, he should be advancing. He gives him so much time. And then just, for the love of fucking God, we cannot keep playing Xander Clark. Like, that's it. We just can't. He shouldn't be number one for us again.
I don't think he will be from now on.
No, neither do I. He almost is diving after the balls in the back of the net. Craig Fowler said to me, he was like, he couldn't believe how slow he actually was diving for that.
Is that because of the injury that he...
Well, then he shouldn't be on the pitch.
I agree, mate. I agree.
Yeah. It's like McFarlane should have been on.
Liam Farley is obviously getting stripped, ready to come on. Subsequently then doesn't. Is that just selfish from Xander Clark in that respect?
Maybe, yeah. And listen, obviously the medical team will say, no, he can play. But it was an active detriment to us keeping Clark on that
particularly
pitch.
With that goal, as you say, just far too slow to get down.
And then the kind of hidden fifth point is that we just had no reaction for the rest of that half. And we started to resort to that horseshoeing it round the back as well. And I understand Livingston set up incredibly well. There is no team better at that mould than a Martindale Livingston team. But you cannot just go, oh, well, we don't know what to do. Because look at what happened in the second half when the exact same setup was there, but we just had a guy who came on and went, they're Livingston. I'm just going to run at them and see what happens.
Yeah, it's... do you know, I'm really impressed with Livingston and Martindale's approach now, because he can switch it up. It's not necessarily...
They were a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, and even then, in this half, they're kind of on the front foot.
Mm-hmm.
They get forward again on 41 minutes. Patient in their passing, not forcing the issue. Eventually, Robbie Muirhead flicks outside after initially checking inside to Tete Yengi, who slaloms and shoots from, a matter of yards out. Clark stops his eventual effort. It's a decent enough save, but I think it's just a poor finish and a poor effort. But thankfully, that prevents the hosts from doubling their advantage before half-time. And on 48 minutes before the half-time interval, an awkward corner is parried up and into the air by Xander Clark. Mo Silla then controls at the far post, and thankfully that's the opportunity that drops to him because he fires wide. Some Livy fans actually think that it's in due to kind of the net rippling. And it obviously sliding away and behind the goal, but thankfully there was just one goal heading into it, or rather one goal in it heading into the break, because again, I think Livy are decent. I think they'll be fine. I said pre-season that I think they'll have enough to stay in the division, but ultimately against a better team, they could have easily killed us off in that first half.
Two questions for you. One, is Robbie Muirhead the angriest player in this league? I know Gogic plays in it, but good God, he is just permanently raging.
I think he probably is, yeah. Yeah, I can't think of many, if any, others now. I think we've been missing that kind of character for a wee while.
Also, what an image change since he was last at us.
I know. I thought he was just some quiet, shy guy, but now
he's tattooed with a mullet.
Well and truly out of shell,
yeah.
Robbie.
Second question is, what is the justification for McEntee playing right wing back? Is it that McInnes just wants to play that system, so has to play someone there? Or is it that he doesn't trust Forrester so much that he's left him out of squads again and has confirmed this week that he's going back to St Johnstone in the most pointless recall I've ever seen from a loan? Or is it a magic third option?
You mean the pointless recall after the initial pointless spell on loan?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that is a very good point. Very important caveat to make there.
I think it's a combination of both. to be perfectly honest. I mean, I had heard that. I mean, there was people trying to say to me that Lewis Mayo was going to sign from Kilmarnock on deadline day,
What?
which never came anywhere near fruition. Um, I think it's just a setup that he's comfortable with because Kelly more often than not played that last year. Um, but I mean, our lack of options on that right hand side is damning with Borchgrevink out. And obviously, Oisin McEntee, I believe, is far better in the middle of the park than he
This
is
is
out
the
there.
thing,
So,
though. In the second half, when we went to a 4, I actually think McEntee was all right.
a right back,
He's still wasted. He's still
yes, I
absolutely
agree.
wasted. But as a right back, he was fine.
Yeah, yeah, I don't disagree with that. But I'd want to get him up in the middle of the park. I mean,
Yeah,
he and Devlin, I think, complement each other really well. Um, and if they were kind of the two with Giroud that little bit further forward, we
that's my midfield.
might be cooking.
Yeah.
Because again, it's like, will Benny Beningame stay fit for more than a
No.
game or two? Sadly not. So yeah, I don't know. In terms of kind of setup and personnel, like yeah, I'm with you. McAtee just has to be in the middle of the pitch, but we've got nobody else out there on that right flank, so
Yeah,
that's
no.
that's ultimately where he is.
Yeah.
I again, we'll come to it later on. I can understand people's skepticism with kind of our want for a right back or our need for a right back when they say, "Oh well, we've got a million attacking options on the books, and none of them play." Like in terms of a matchday squad, you can only select two centre forwards. Sometimes we go with a lone striker and a couple wingers at max, with one or two on the bench. But we have hunters, so I can understand people's skepticism when they say, "Oh yeah, but the squad's bloated. Like we need a couple outgoings." But players like we need interested parties to come in for our players. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not simply a case of, "Oh yeah, well offers will undoubtedly come." Like I think we were lucky to get someone out the door that again we'll come on to later. It's like yeah, we found an interested party in that case, but we still need that to be the case for
Yeah.
several other players before we can then bring somebody in.
Yeah.
So it is top heavy, but not in a good way because it's at our detriment here when we need somebody on that right hand side.
He also has signed hundreds of wide players and keeps not starting
It
systems
doesn't
that have wide players.
doesn't play any wingers.
Yeah.
So weird, a bizarre kind of circumstance. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think here the front two, I can't really have any complaints. One of them scores. Granted, he misses a sitter later on. And I actually thought that was Lauren Shanklin's best game for Hearts for a wee while, to be honest.
He
In
was
terms of,
involved in a lot in terms of build up.
that's what I mean, in terms of kind of passes that he was picking. Um,
I still
and
don't
just
think
kind
he's
of
doing near enough though.
no, but there was more of a selflessness, I thought, to his play than I think we've
True.
seen recently. Because I think in kind of instances where, again, we'll come on to, I feel like he just hit a snapshot or tries luck from, miles away that in circumstances that he's never going to score in. Whereas here, at least he'd look to bring others into play, and there was that kind of that link up that we'd previously seen. I felt was kind of creeping back into his game in Livingston, to be honest.
That is fair, but I do not think him and Braga work together.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
just think they're trying. It's what McKinnon said. They're both trying to do the exact same thing, but Braga is currently better at it.
So do you think McInnes has got it in him to drop Braga?
No,
Drop Shanklin, sorry.
no.
No,
This
neither do I.
time next month, if Shanklin still hasn't scored and has been actively poor, then maybe. But right now, Shanklin, in my mind, Shanklin is one of the first three names in the team sheet under McInnes, even though he shouldn't be.
Okay. Who are your other two? Oh, what? As in, these are players that you wouldn't select,
Oh
or
no,
you
no,
think
just
these are
I
his
think
nailed ons?
like nailed ons. I think are Finlay, Milne, Shanklin.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Um,
Right,
however,
positivity now because it was all class after
we,
this.
we get to halftime only 1-0 down, bizarrely, thankfully. And we opt to make a substitution. Craig Halkett picked up a stupid yellow card, and Alexandros Kizaridis came on in his place. As you mentioned earlier, that then resulted in a change of shape. What that change of shape was entirely, I'm not 100% sure, because people would just kind of pick up
I think it was a
areas and
4-4-2.
okay, let's go with that. But on 46 minutes, I mean, talk about an immediate impact. Harry Milne takes a free kick quickly, kind of looking to make amends for his earlier error. Alexandros Kizaridis off the bench drives at Tete Yenge, fires across the box, but nearly catches Jeremy Prior out at his near post. The Frenchman diverts behind for a Hearts corner right at the start of the second half, and from that resulting corner, again, it's Milne and Kizaridis looking to combine. The Greek drives at Scott Pittman, centres for Claudio Braga to head home Hearts equaliser. Thank God there is no Sue, there's no off to the corner from our number 10. It's a case of grab the ball, meet me at the centre circle. Livingston 1, Hearts 1. It's a decent delivery from Kizaridis, but I just think the power on the header is magnificent from Braga. But again, I stress, last week it was a case of me pleading to start Claudio Braga every week. Alexandros Kizaridis, in my eyes, is a difference maker, and again, would be one of the first names on my team sheet every single week.
In the first 120 seconds of him starting, he'd made 3 chances and one of them resulted in a goal. Like,
I mean, that speaks volumes.
I understand that he started against St Mirren and did not do very well at all. That cannot just be the death knell of Kizaridis starting in lineups now, because almost everyone in this team has started games and been shit. So we cannot do that. He clearly, if you listen to his interview after the games and stuff like that, he clearly is just like, I am better than this level. But he does it
that was really refreshing to hear.
Yeah.
Say sorry.
But he does it in a way of going, so I'm going to prove it. Because some people will think, I'm better than this level, and kind of then just be like, so I can't be arsed.
Yeah, whereas Vargas.
Vargas isn't a can't be arsed.
He puts the effort into, be fair. He's just not very good.
He just isn't as good as Kizaridis. He just can't do it. Whereas Kizaridis is
but you know what I was alluding to? I mean, he's just dismissed the league, but it's like, you could dismiss the league if you perform well in said league. It's always the ones that are shite, that this Scottish football, like, regardless of who they've played for, it's like, oh, well, it's not the best league, but I'm better than this, when you're quite clearly not.
Kizaridis is like, I'm better than this, and I'm going to show everybody why I'm better than this.
He might well be.
And I am so on board with that. He was fucking excellent. Like, unbelievable. I said the first 15 minutes when he came on was incredible, but his performance off the bench was like comedically good. The type of performance that a fan at half-time on the terraces would go, get Kizaridis on, you'll fucking score immediately and then get us a winner. Why is he no starting? But then he actually did that. Like, and folk would just be sitting there going, oh my God, he actually did it. Like, it was funny, but in a frustrating way of like, yeah, we all know he can do this. Why isn't he starting?
There's only a couple of people that can't, and they're over in that dugout.
Yeah, he was excellent. But yeah, Braga's header is so good, especially when he's had a couple of games now where he's had like against Motherwell and Dundee United, he's had 3 headers that he did really badly with.
Yeah, and he should do better with. This is probably the hardest of kind of the 3 chances that you
definitely,
because it's up and over kind of the goalkeeper. It's not a looping header, but he kind of directs it into that far corner and past Prior in a flash. So,
excellent.
Phenomenal header. You spoke about the reinvented Robbie Muirhead. He has an ambitious free kick on 50 minutes, which sails past Sander Clark's right-hand post. He probably scored the goal of the season in Scotland last year.
Yeah.
A wonderful free kick away to Ayr United, if you haven't seen it. But he'd have done well to recreate that here, because he's literally in no man's land. But I don't mind him necessarily having a pop. A bit of a maverick he's turned into, actually, Robbie Muirhead, isn't he?
Essentially, what we can glean from this is that Dominic Sabolazai was watching Hearts Livingston.
That's right.
And then the day after went, you know what, I think I can do that better. Robbie
Muirhead was the inspiration for maybe a goal that's already won Liverpool the Premier League. So
yeah, exactly.
Who's the real winner? On 56 minutes, A Livingston corner is cleared out to Blair Spittle, who returns it back to base. Eventually, it comes out to Kizaridis on the right-hand side again, and having linked up for the Hearts goal, he lobs forward looking for Braga. Tries to kind of catch it on the half volley. Not necessarily sure it was the best option as it kind of flashes into the side netting. But again, I mean, a player that we've spoken about was Ajeu having a pop from range. I don't mind it from Braga. Don't mind it from time to time because, again, I think there's also this kind of general feeling amongst modern football, and it seems to have re-emerged fairly recently again, of these games where passing is at the forefront and it's passing for passing's sake and nobody has a pop from range anymore. So I don't mind my centre forward having a bash. But granted, again, might not be the best option, but at least he's willing to have a try.
And he's clearly confident just now with his form as well.
Yes, that's a fair point. Albeit there's an instance where that confidence might have been dented later on. But on 66 minutes, the moment that we've all been waiting for, history is made in West Lothian as Blair Spittle comes off. But Ajeu comes
just
on.
Just Blair Spittle comes off. That's the history-making moment and never appears again.
I know, I really should have left it at that. But is it Eduardo Ajeu, or do we just call him Ajeu? Has he got
Ajeu.
Like it is Beyonce or I don't know,
he
Madonna.
is Cher.
Yeah, sure. And on 75 minutes, the instance that we'd spoken about earlier, Ajeu picks up from Cammy Devlin after some patient play from Hearts, which, again, not looking to force the issue, granted. Not sure if we're in that horseshoe rhythm, but that's fine. Possession sometimes is okay, just not all the time. Advances, just skips by a couple of players, and it's like, oh, here we go. But drags a really poor effort wide of the mark in the end. But again,
I think it's that bad. I think you're underselling it a wee bit.
It's not great.
No, but it's not like the worst shot I've ever seen.
Oh, God, no. Not while we've got some of these jokers in the squad. No.
But the moment he makes that little bit of space, also earlier, one of the first things he did when he came on,
is making that space and just dragging us up the park. It's like, oh my God, I've missed this.
When he came on, speaking about players who think they're too good for the league, when he came on, one of the first things he did was he was under pressure by two Livingston players, and you heard him just be like, give me the... Like, I think his attitude is going to be, it does not matter if I'm marked, I'm better than everybody here, still give me the ball. But, especially when it's Scott Pittman, I think it was Pittman, or maybe like Pittman, and then I think Silla was near him. The ball got fizzed into him, and he just shoulder feint and let it go through him, and he took both of them out the game, and then he just ran forward, and it was like creating space for yourself. We have nobody that does that at all, because like even Kizaridis and Braga don't do that because they get the ball down and run at folk. That's different. That's a totally different skill. Benny and Devlin win it.
Park, but like it's in a different way. Like
the way
I feel like Ajeu drags a unit forward. Yes, Kizaridis or Braga, it's just them.
Yeah, the way he makes space for himself for that shot is unlike any player in this team, where you are just like, oh yeah, he just knows how to make, like, he just does seem like that. You know that joke where it's like, we've finally signed a professional footballer because our level's just like amateur guys and semi-pros. It's like, he looks like a footballer, like what you expect from a Brazilian footballer. I'm very excited.
Our own Brazilian baller, yes. With just a shame with the numpties that he's got to play alongside.
Hey, now he's got Kizaridis and Braga. It's fine.
That's all he needs. Previously, all we needed was Claudio Braga. Now we just need Claudio Braga and a couple of his mates.
Yes. Update the song, Gorgel Trails.
Speaking of Claudio Braga, on 78 minutes.
Also, speaking about Ajeu.
Yeah. I thought that we weren't going to get our just rewards here. Devlin intercepts on halfway. He, Kent, and Kizaridis all link up. Lauren Shankland, again, a lovely curling left-footed pass over the top for Ajeu. And he's in. He's bearing down on goal. He's clattered by a couple of Livingston defenders and goalkeeper. Welcome to Scottish football. After controlling and looking to slide home, after kind of the stramash that he's in the midst of, it breaks for Claudio Braga, who has the goal at his wake, but he just can't He hits the post with a left-footed effort and he passes up a glorious chance, a glaring opportunity to fire Hearts ahead. And then it was just like, oh, we're going to have to settle for a point here.
Yeah, that is how you
Absolutely
thought.
pish.
I
I was gutted for him because you could just see, again, like, he's got kind of this happy nature where he doesn't appear too bothered by things, but it was as though the light had kind of left his eyes. It was very sad. You immediately saw him just tumble to the ground and just he knows that was, or he thinks that was the chance.
I do, jumping forward a bit, but I do like in the post-match celebrations, you see guys like Milne, Finlay, Halkett run up to him and give him loads of shit for missing it in like a jokey way. It's really, really good.
Even McInnes's comments after as well. It's like, yeah,
Aye.
got Claudio out the shit, basically.
Yeah, basically. Ajeo isn't trying to score. He's trying to pass. It's unbelievable that he's got to make that run initially. The ball, as you say, the ball from Shankland is fantastic. Excellent. It's such a good ball. His weak foot as well.
That's what I mean in terms of kind of. There was a couple instances with Shankland where sometimes he just thought to hell with this and just would fire one of these over. Yeah. Like, oh, you've got that in the locker. Like, remember that.
And we now have a guy who will be running from deep to get onto them. Yeah, exactly. The run is unbelievable. But yeah, the wherewithal to be like, I'm just going to pass this off is insane. I just couldn't believe he missed it. I could not. But if there's one guy you want on the end of that, it's Braga. And I don't
know who dropped to their knees quicker, Claudio Braga or me.
I know. I was watching it on my couch and was up with my head in my hands, just devastated, and had fully consigned myself at that point to being like, yeah, right, cool. It's one each.
Couple changes. Benny Beringame comes off. Sapa Karjota comes on 80 minutes.
I like Karjota a lot. Right?
We've noticed.
I like him. He just looks like a guy who will just run in a straight line. Kizarides and Braga kind of have intelligence and go, okay, well, at this point, the slalom move. Karjota just goes, I have the ball. I will run in a straight line and see what happens. And that, I like that.
He's the chalk on the boots type, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a fancy Alan Forrest, and that's all I need.
He's Alan Forrest with a minted name.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Played abroad. And on 88 minutes, Claudio Braga, his reward was coming off for Elton Kabangu. However,
I've got something to say about Kabangu at the minute.
Okay. Well, get it out of the way now.
Kabangu's fucking offside for when Kizarides shoots.
Yes.
If it gets saved, he's offside for the tap.
Yeah, I know. So annoying.
That made me laugh. Just be like, this is the most on-brand thing ever.
You know how we've spoken about like players' flaws, and
if he didn't have a flaw, he'd be playing for Arsenal.
Exactly. If Elton Kabangu could stay on side, he'd be a hell of a player. He really would. But sometimes it's like, why are you popping up there? Like the ball's quite clearly away from you. Just fucking get back on the other. Like,
you're also fast. You don't need to be. You're not Wanma. Wanma had an excuse.
You could afford that extra like yard or two. However, it didn't break to Elton Kabangu, thankfully. On 90 minutes, Xander Clark sends a long kick up the plastic park. Kitchen sink time. Hearts
that's a point. We haven't mentioned that. Sorry. That pitch looks great now. I'm well on board with that.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still kind of anti-plastic park, but that I will accept. The ones where the kind of little black dots would leap up and almost hit you in the face, like that cannot possibly feature in a top flight. But yes, I
love Livingston's pitch now.
That's a good surface. However, the ball barely touches the surface here.
Yeah.
Shankland looks to flick on. Livy intercept through Ryan McGowan. Gowser looks to kind of find Mo Silla, who then aims to clear. Instead, just smashes it off Scott Pittman. I believe it is.
I think so. It's a wee bald guy.
Shankland then picks up and rolls it wide for Alexandros Kizarides, who takes his time, keeps calm, composed, caresses it into the bottom right-hand corner. Hearts leave it late in Livingston, but Greece is most certainly the word. Livingston 1, Heart of Midlothian 2.
If you're watching on YouTube and you could see me looking down, it's because I was getting a quote.
You're
I have
looking very
confidence.
intently.
I told Shanks to give me the ball and I knew I'd score because I'm very good. That's what I fucking want from our wingers. I want a guy to just be like, I'm good, give me the ball and I'll get us out of this shit.
Not even a lost in translation. It's like, yeah,
No.
I'm the dog's bollocks.
Yeah, I'm class here, by the way. I noticed it as it happened, because as I say, I was watching it from home. And then when I watched Sports Scene back, I really noticed it. He's crying after he scores.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of taken aback as well when he was like in the moment and you see him do it. Yeah, don't wonder what
I love him
frustration.
so much. I don't know why. Because in his post-match comments, he was very much like, listen, the manager picks the team. I don't mind if I'm on the bench. I understand the situation.
Missing the family or are the family over with him? I don't know.
I found this out in his press conference. He's about to have a bairn. His wife's here. And he's about to have a baby. I didn't even know he was married. I didn't know he was about to have a kid. I did see someone say, oh my God, Kazidis is married. The whole of Edinburgh sighs. It's just devastated.
Yeah, I could see that. Claudio Braga? Is Claudio Braga single for the ladies?
He is single.
Or fellas?
He is single, so let's go.
Don't know what way he's inclined, but yeah, there's still a possibility.
Sinead's trying to affect that, I think, to be fair.
Yeah, no doubt. I bet she is.
But I was just
like I'll join her.
Yeah, exactly. Let's all go for it. It'll be fine. He seems like a guy that wants to be here, wants to prove how good he is. And that finish is ridiculous. It is so good. And yes, we're leaving it late. It's not sustainable. We need to win games properly. But they're still the best way to win games. Like 90th minute winners.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And again, there was numerous points last season where we were kind of ruining luck that hadn't necessarily gone our way. It felt like the world was against us. Whereas here, we get that little bit of fortune.
Yeah.
Like Livingston should clear their lines better than they do.
Yeah.
We're just lucky that obviously it falls for Shankland and the pair of them can keep their composure to nick it late on. So
it does just feel, for all the criticism I said about McInnes with the system and the personnel, I can't remember the last time I've ever felt a time where I get more confident we're going to score the longer the game goes. Yeah,
there's a determination, isn't there, amongst this team, which is nice. There's a persistence. Because again, like I thought the Braga chance was it. I thought that was it.
Yeah.
I thought that it's come and gone. Like a point's not a disaster. Granted, we wanted all three, but thankfully we've just done enough to secure all three. That being said, Connor McLennan heads wide from a few yards out from a Livingston corner on 95 minutes, I think it is. I mean, talk about surviving a scare. Like we get away with one. But
what is going on there defensively?
Why is Kerjota, I think it is, picking up Connor McLennan?
Yeah, I know. I've no idea.
Is it just a like for like winger on winger? Like I don't know, bizarre. But thankfully, it doesn't. But
we're top of the league and unbeaten. So who gives a shit? That's all going to change next week. But
that's the spirit, mate. That's exactly what you thought. That's it. A player that we hope will feature next week is experienced German goalkeeper Alexander Schwolo.
Yep.
Is it Schwolo or Schwolov? Schwolo?
I should have worn my Schalke top. Why am I not wearing my Schalke top? For fuck's sake. I have seen this man play before. I'll tell you, didn't get excited for a goalkeeper with good distribution, because fuck me. He's Craig Gordon 2.0. But Schalke, when he was at Schalke, I always heard it as Schwolo.
Schwolo, right, okay. Excellent. Well, Alexander's in the building. Yep. The 33-year-old who has more than 200 Bundesliga appearances under his belt has penned a 2-year deal at Tynecastle Park, subject to visa approval, Scottish FA approval and international clearance. Standing 6'3" tall, Alexander came through the ranks at SC Freiburg, making his senior debut in 2014. He won back-to-back promotions between 2014 and 2016, firstly on loan at Arminia Bielefeld, where he won the nice by Drei Liga,
Yep.
and then back at Freiburg, who he helped to the Bundesliga. Alexander would spend the next 4 seasons as Freiburg's number one in the German top flight before a multi-million-pound move to Hertha Berlin. After 2 years at the Olympiastadion, what a place. He would spend.
I'm going in 10
Schalke.
days.
Oh, I love Berlin. In 2023, he saw a return to the German capital, but this time with Union, where he was part of the squad that took part in the club's first ever UEFA Champions League campaign. A free agent following his departure from Union Berlin during the summer, Alexander will now call Gorgie his home. As head coach Derek McInnes bolsters a goalkeeping department that has been hit hard by injuries in recent times. Nicked off the club website. How happy are you with this signing, McIver?
I mean, we very rarely have Schalke associated people at the club, and as my German team, I always get excited with that. I like him. He was only at Schalke for 1 season, 22-23, and he played about 30-ish games or something like that, so he's pretty much number one for that whole season. Schalke were not good at the time. As Schalke have
rotten now.
Yeah, Schalke have. I know how to pick my football teams, right? Heart, up until 4 years ago, Newcastle and Schalke. Fuck me. I'm allergic to success. Schalke were not good. So, a lot of people might look at his stats and go, well, he didn't really do much. He had nobody in front of him. Okay? He had nobody in front of him. But he made a lot of big saves. He's very agile for the size of him. I also thought he was way older than he actually is. I thought he was like 36, 37, but he's only 33.
33, yeah.
But even away from all of that, he's a goalkeeper, which means Xander Clark doesn't have to play football for us anymore. So he could have been a 19-year-old for Everton, and I still would have had him in goals. But definitely a guy with 200 plus Bundesliga games, I would be having in next weekend at Ibrox.
That's exactly what I was just about to ask you. Do you think? I mean, I'm assuming that he will come in and start because of the wage that I assume that he's on. I can't see anybody other than him between the sticks. In Govan, can you?
No, I hope, and I very much hope so. Also, McInnes can use the justification of like, I'm taking Xander out the limelight. It doesn't need to be a big like, I'm dropping him because he's been shit. It's giving him a wee bit of time. He's not had a break because he was away with Scotland and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly, all that. But McInnes has an excuse to drop him, even though I don't think he should need one.
Nice. And one player that won't feature
I'm devastated.
At Ibrox or beyond is our very own project child, as Musa Drama has left Hearts to join Portuguese side USC Torrense.
I think
the 23-year-old moves permanently to the Liga Portugal 2 outfit on undisclosed terms, subject to
stick it in the German translation.
Subject, yeah. Spanish forward Musa joined the Jambos in June 2024. Featured 24 times in Maroon last season, scoring 3 goals. I'll never forget his world day against Celtic and another battering at Tynecastle. And everybody at Hearts thanks Musa for his contributions at the club and wishes him well in Portugal. People rewrite history. Musa Drama was by no means one of the worst players I've seen for Hearts, because boy, that list is long. He tried his best. It didn't work out. That's all you really need to say. It doesn't have to be any more, any less than that. That's just how I feel. Good luck to him.
Remember that 16-day period when he scored that raker against Celtic, then he scored against Motherwell, and everybody went, fuck me, has he been the solution this whole time? And he was sat on the bench. No, he was not.
For Musa Drama Sundays.
Yeah. He is one of the funniest players I've ever seen play for us. And I loved him as a result, because exactly. I don't think he was a footballer, but he really tried, right? And I'll take that over some of the shit I have seen that didn't try and was also shit. So
I agree, mate.
God love you, Musa. I hope you smash it in Portugal.
Yeah, good luck to you.
It's probably an upgrade living-wise from Gorgie.
Undoubtedly.
But
we've got a spare room.
What exactly? Let's go. Listen, we'll get into a throuple with Claudio Braga and move to Portugal, and then we can live in Musa's spare room. We are sorted.
What an image that is.
On to the Rangers preview.
Moving swiftly on. Yes, you are right. We head to Ibrox after the international break, of course, to take on Rangers in our next Scottish Premiership match. It's not a game that I ever look forward to. However,
Don't do this
the
to yourself.
The law of averages says
you
that
say
at
this
some stage
twice a season. We've been doing. We
at least
realised
3 times a season.
We realised we have been doing this podcast now for officially 5 years and 1 month, right? At least 3 times each year you say that, and it's never happened.
But if not now, when? Because
never.
They are shit.
They are shit. They're atrocious. And it will finish 4-1 to Rangers. Because we'll score. We're going to score. But it'll be at 3-0 down.
I also feel pretty confident they will score. But this is the game that, on a serious note, you cannot afford to fall behind in.
No.
As we have done in
but
3
we will.
quarters
It'll
of our
be
games
8
so
minutes,
far.
John Suter from a corner. No, actually, it'll be 12 minutes, Bojan Majowski. That's what it'll fucking be.
It's going to be Majowski or this Chermiti fella. Like, we'll give either them their first Rangers goal. It's a certain. Yeah. And that, an absolute stick on.
I would play a 4-3-3. Svolo in goals. Milne, Halkett, Finlay, McEntee.
Okay.
Because we've sent Forrester back, so we just have to do that. A midfield 3 of Devlin Benny and Ajeo.
Yeah. Okay.
And in a front 3, a Kizaridis, Kirjota, Braga.
There's no way that'll happen.
It won't, but I don't
Braga,
care. That's what I want.
Kizaridis and Shankland, I could see that.
He might do that, but do not. Why would you play?
I like that.
I don't like Braga out wide.
No, neither do I. But I feel like it's more.
By the way,
it's more viable because he can't really drop Braga, and he's kind of shoehorning him in because we love a square peg in a round hole.
He brought Ajeo on and played him left mid for the first 10 minutes. By the way,
but I just I can't see Kirjota. I can't see him.
He might play Kabori, which would be bad because Kabori cannot play it.
It's going to be him and Alan Forrest on the flanks.
I think he will start Forrest. I think Forrest will start. If he plays with a wide player.
But yeah, he's just been omitted from the matchday squad
True.
against Livingston. However, the bounce game, obviously, that took place against Dunfermline, I think he scored and set up 2 for Cabangu.
Yeah, because Cabangu and Alan Forrest are the greatest players when there's no crowd. Because Cabangu got 2 goals and an assist, and Forrest got 2 assists and a goal.
Yeah, so I don't know. So your score prediction is 4-1.
4-1.
There is no way we concede 4 to this Rangers team, surely. Surely. Not even
we
us.
We can. The Mick McCarthy meme. We can.
It can.
Like, that's happening, mate.
What do I think? Oh, I mean, I obviously... it's like using your head or your heart. My head says we get beat, but my heart says it has to happen.
That little voice break was so genuine there. I've never heard you get this emotional before. This means so much to you.
It does. Because I fucking hate Rangers.
I hate them so much.
But 2-1 Hearts. Fuck it.
I want more than anything for you to be right. I want us to be coming back after the international break. Just before, because this is the last game. I go and we play, then I fly to Berlin on the Monday.
Sehr gut.
This could be the best start of my holiday. This could be incredible.
Could. Who Celtic got after the break?
I've no idea. Dundee or something?
They'll probably win, but...
I think they're away to Dundee.
No.
That might be absolute bollocks, by the way.
Oh, they're away to Kelly on the Sunday.
Away to Kelly. I knew they were away to a shite team.
The Sunday jobbies. Yeah, I was going to say, because we could... No, let's just not...
Don't you dare say that.
I didn't say it. But we're all thinking it. Yeah, that's fine. But listen, it has to happen. These things, like... Think of all the shite that won there last year. St Mirren...
And we didn't!
Hibs, that's my point. But we have to at some stage. Under a new manager, a new philosophy, a new idea, a new confidence, a new
Derek McKinnon is famous for getting results against Rangers, yeah.
No matter. Before we go, we'll end on the end is near quiz. As we just, avoid further depressing ourselves by talking about Hearts' rank record against Rangers. You have a true or false, a multiple choice, two normal questions, and who am I? We start with your true or false.
Oh, God.
The league's top two teams, Celtic and Hearts, have won more matches than the other 10 teams in the Scottish Premiership combined so far this season.
Right. We've won 3. We've both won, so 6 between us. Right. Motherwell, Dundee, Rangers. No. Killie, Motherwell, Rangers have won none. They've drawn all 4. Hibs have won 1 and drawn 2. So that's 1 between 4 teams. 6 is another 4 teams. What was the sentence? That we have...
True or false, the league's top 2 teams have won more
True.
matches than the other 10 teams. It is true, yes.
That's insane.
Bizarre, I know. 6 for Hearts and Celtic, as you already said, 3 apiece. 4 for everyone else. 1 for Hibs, 1 for Dundee United, 1 for Falkirk, and 1 for Livingston.
I'm glad I didn't try and do the maths because I forgot Livingston have won a game.
Yes, against
Dundee. They've not played Dundee. Who would they have beaten?
At home, we were gutted. Or I was certainly gutted, but I did call it. Because of the stronghold that they have over...
Falkirk.
Correct.
Yeah.
Good start. 1 from 1. Question number 2. According to Transfermarkt, who is Heart of Midlothian's top goal scorer in 43 competitive matches against Livingston? Is it A, Andy Kirk, B, Lee Miller, C, Jamie Walker, or D, Rudy Scatchell?
I initially thought you meant that question meant that they had played 40-something times against Livingston. And then you said Andy Kirk and Lee Miller. Jamie Walker. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. It doesn't make sense. Obviously, you have to take my first answer. But obviously that's incorrect because we were fucking... When Walker was here, we never played Livingston. Was it Rudy?
No, Jamie Walker scored his fair few against Livingston.
Oh, no, it would have been the first 2.
Matches,
yeah, it would have been one of the first 2. I don't think it's Miller. Kirk?
It's Andy Kirk, yes.
I wouldn't have went with him. With 5?
Andy Kirk's on 5. All the others are on 3.
Lee Miller scored 3 goals for us against Livingston. Was that a hat-trick in one game?
I have absolutely no idea.
I'm finding that out. Multitasking. I'm going to answer questions.
Nice. I like it. I should have thought about that, actually, that you might ask said questions. So, yeah, that's very nice of you to, well, ask the question first and foremost and then get up the answer. Yeah, we'll just wait in the meantime.
He did not. I don't know because it just says that he like. Oh no! Wait.
Uh-oh. Hello.
No, he scored on his debuts. We beat Dundee United 3-2. He scored 8 goals in 18 league games. He must have done because we would have only because of how little he was at us. He would have only played them once. So he must have scored a hat-trick.
If you can remember Lee Miller's exploits against Livingston, feel free to get in touch.
I just remember his wonderful hair.
Question number 3. How many ex-Hearts players are currently on Livingston's books?
Oh, shit. Right, hold on. Ryan McGowan, Danny Wilson.
Yeah.
I don't think Scott Robinson's still there.
He's not.
Are you counting... This is a question. Are you counting Macaulay Tate?
No. How many ex-Hearts players?
Ex-Hearts players. Wilson McGowan. There's someone else. Robbie Muirhead. Scott Robinson's at Hamilton or Partick Thistle or something.
Hamilton, because we played them in the League Cup.
Oh, yeah. And I heard his voice for the first time and it blew my mind. Right. I'm going to say 3, but it might be 4.
You're going to say 3. It might be 4, but it's actually 5.
What? Oh, Jack Hamilton's there! Fuck!
Jack Hamilton's there, and somebody that we've just let go in the summer.
In the summer?
Yeah.
Is that the Portuguese translation for Livingston? Is that where Musa is now? Yandanda's not there. Barry Mackay's died and just doesn't exist as a football player anymore.
Christ almighty.
I've no idea. Who is it?
Aidan Denham.
Aidan Denham? Is it Livy? Oh, and he fucked his hamstring in the first game. There we go, I remember.
This is what I have to put up with on a weekly basis, team.
And
this is it.
Who regularly has had way more success in the quiz? This guy.
Don't know what you're talking about. Question number 4.
I do.
Right, watch cheek.
I'm still trying to find out about Liam.
What are you doing? Just need a flash.
I'm really trying to find it.
What are you up to? Oh, here we go.
No, he only scored 1. I don't think your question's right.
Well, I used transfer mark, so get it up them.
How? Because it says he only had for us.
No,
it says for us he only scored.
Hold on a second. He wasn't the right answer anyway.
Oh yeah, no, but 3. It says he only scored 1 goal for us against Livingston.
Oh no, I fucked up here. Right, wait. Hold on.
Oh no, 2. Away at Livingston in a 2-1 win, he scores. Then at home in a 3-1 win, he scores. And then he doesn't play them again in the league for us. But in the Scottish Cup, which is a separate table, he scores in a 2-1 win.
All competitions, yes.
He in 5 months he played Livingston 3 times for Hearts and scored in each of them.
There you have it. Question number 4, eventually. I'm actually disappointed that I didn't know this stat in our previous episode. After Claudio Braga's heroics against Motherwell, who was the last Hearts player to score twice in a Scottish Premiership match off the bench?
Jesus. Oh. Do I get the year?
I'd be willing to give you the season, yeah.
Okay, go for that. I'll take anything I can get.
2022-2023.
That is not what I wanted you to fucking say.
I was taken aback by this. I completely forgot about this, I'll be honest.
Aaron McInnes.
I like the logic.
Because he did that. He came off the bench and scored twice.
But I'm pretty sure he'd left by that point.
But I think he had left.
21-22.
Aye.
It's not Aaron McInnes.
Who was it?
Any other stabs in the dark?
Ellis Sims.
Again, I think he was there the season prior.
I think he was. Right, a decade.
Lawrence Shankland.
When? When would he have come off the bench?
In the 4-3 defeat to Celtic at Tynecastle. Remember when he scored the hat-trick?
Yeah, what? I thought he started.
He didn't start. Stephen Humphreys started as a lone striker that day.
What were we fucking doing? What?
I know, I couldn't believe that when I saw it either. I'll read you the Hearts team from that day. I'll get it up here.
Greg Taylor breaking everybody's hearts.
Because again, this was where obviously VAR was introduced, right?
Yeah.
Was it not? Big Ange was obviously in the Celtic dugout.
That when Cochrane didn't get sent off in that game. It was like the other Celtic games Cochrane always got sent off in.
Man, hold on a second here. I thought I had it. Oh, more about this game. Hold on, I got it.
Because he kept fouling Kyogo and now they play together.
Lineups: Craig Gordon in goal. Back 4 of Cochrane, Kingsley, Sibic and Smith. Midfield trio of Snodgrass, Devlin and Kiermaier-Soglu, with Barry Mackay and Josh Ginnelly supporting Stephen Humphreys in attack.
That team scored 3 again. I mean, I know it didn't because the one guy that played didn't.
They scored none.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, Lawrence Shankland off the bench. How unbelievable is that stat? I could not get my nut round that.
That's insane.
Mental. Absolutely mental.
Fair
Daniel
play.
McIver, to conclude,
right.
We will end off with your Who Am I? Are you ready?
I am.
I played exclusively in Great Britain, beginning my career with a divisional rival of Hearts. They say don't fall in love with a lone player, but I joined the Jambos temporarily, and despite the club's best efforts to sign me, it unfortunately didn't turn into a permanent stay. I scored on my debut in Maroon, and was certainly worth the asking price that my parent club were initially holding out for. But after impressing in Edinburgh, the club that I was on loan from drove their asking price up given my exploits whilst at Tynecastle. I scored in a memorable and rare victory through West, even winning the SPL's Young Player of the Month while at HMFC. I joined... What?
I think I know who this is. It's fucking
Okay.
Lee Miller.
I joined another Scottish side and would come back to haunt Hearts once I signed for yet another divisional rival. I played just 3 times for my country before dabbling in a bit of coaching and eventually going down a different career path outside of football. Who am I?
Shit. That end bit's fucked it. I was convinced this was Lee Miller because this is exactly what Lee Miller. He won Young Player. We won 2-0 at Parkhead.
I shall get this man's Wikipedia up while you hazard a guess as to who you think this is.
If you say 0405, I'm going Lee Miller, even without a question. What seasons did this man play for Hearts?
This season, the season that this man played for Hearts was 2004 to 2005.
Right, it's Lee Miller then. It's Lee Miller.
Of course it's Lee Miller. The fact that you mentioned him twice in this episode, I was furious. And then, of course, you just so happened to stumble across his career when checking back his goals for Hearts against Livingston.
However, that information you gave, I think I would have got Lee Miller because I remember I loved him. We were like the perfect age for Lee Miller to come in. And I remember he scored at Parkhead and I remember he won.
In that 2-0 win.
Yeah. And I need to go back. I can't wait to edit this. When I'm reading that and looking at my phone and seeing your reaction to me reading out all the stats you're about to say. Yes!
Oh,
this is why you need to watch on YouTube, folks.
I mean, this just sums up where we are when it comes to the quiz. You stumble across your fucking Who Am I by accident. Meanwhile, I'm trying to scramble the very depths of my brain, being like, who the hell played for us and God knows when? Honest to God.
I gave you a guy that played 5 years ago last week. You went back 2 decades. You just picked a guy that everybody our age wanted to be.
Oh, too right. With the Barnet and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
You say that, you said about the end bit. And
what's he doing now?
He's a barber.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
It is mental. How old do you feel when you see that his boy is playing now in Serie A, having just left Scottish? Like, we are old, mate.
Yeah, we are.
Like that is so depressing, isn't it? It's not the note that I wanted to end the podcast on.
No.
But it's a wake up call. We ain't getting any younger, sadly.
No, we are not. But if you got Lee Miller as quick as I did,
so angry.
Please let us know. You don't even need to let me know. Just let Adam know on Twitter or on all the socials at Perth to Paisley. If you have enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice. Massively helps. If you've been watching Adam crumble in devastation on YouTube, please have a like, comment, and subscribe. perthtopaisley@gmail.com if you want to fire us over an email. Adam, where can they get you on all the socials?
Yeah, I'm off to book an appointment at Lee Miller's Barbers after watching highlights of Hearts 2-0 win at Celtic Park at Kendo's column.
We'll be back next week to discuss all the fallout from Ibrox and whatever happens there.
Hopefully there's another memorable win through West. That would be nice. That would be really nice.
And Kistaridis and Braga have class hairstyles as well. So just get them on the go as well. It'll be brilliant. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.